money.
I have also got a constitutional right as an individual.
Yes.
To say when I'm recorded and when I'm not.
No.
Correct?
No. The Constitution has no thing in it, no provision that says you have the right to be free from being recorded.
All right, everybody. CH and Ty Audits here. In this video, CH was in Grant County in a small city called Marion. I ran into some problems in the courthouse, and I took a little bit of a different approach today. Some tyrants were willing to lend me an ear, so hopefully we helped them change a little bit and all that. But otherwise, everybody enjoy the video. As I said, it's a little bit different.
Can I help you, sir?
Yeah. What's up with this no cell phone sign here?
There's no cell phones in the courthouse.
Says who?
Says the judges of the courthouse.
Oh, okay. That's fine. So that's not the law then?
Judges of this courthouse.
I get you, brother. Right. So the judges, they get to set rules for like their courtroom, but they don't get to set rules for county buildings. Unless it's rules for the employees. You know, county employees have to follow policies and rules.
Are you going to give me a dissertation, or are you asking a question?
I think it's quite comical that this mindless order follower is asking me if I'm asking him something. He can't think for himself, and he doesn't think that we should be able to think for ourselves either. The judge said something, and in his mind, that's the law.
Oh, I'm going to tell you that there are cell phones allowed in this building. Is this the room where the courtrooms are on, or are the courtrooms up there?
Yeah, all the courtrooms. There's a courtroom here. There's a courtroom on every floor.
There's a courtroom on every floor. Okay. What courtroom is this on this floor?
Juvenile.
Juvenile court. Okay. There's a courtroom on every floor. All right. So where is the courtroom on this floor?
Right there.
Right there.
Yes, sir.
All right. Is court in session right now?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's not my job to know that.
Okay. Right. I mean, it should be, because there's the only reason why court or why a cell phone wouldn't be allowed is if court was in session. Like, that's the law. It's called Rule 2.17. No audio or video recording devices are allowed in the courtroom or in the areas immediately adjacent to the courtroom while court is in session or while court is in recess between sessions. That's what the law says. So if we could find out if court's in session, because if not, I'm going to legally enter this courthouse. And if you guys stop me, that's going to be a big civil rights violation. Do we want to do that today?
Call Captain Haley.
Yeah.
Call Haley.
What's up, man?
What's going on?
Hey, step aside and let her.
Oh.
Come on out.
You could, y'all could say please. You could not be rude. You know what I mean?
Come on out here. You can't have your cell phone in the building here.
There's no law that says that, man.
What? I'm just asking you.
I get you. Yeah, and I'm just politely telling
So
you.
you can't take it in the building. I mean, if you just want to stand there with your cell phone,
Right.
you can't go past him. So.
Right. Unless court isn't in session, then I'm allowed to go. Like, if court's in session on this floor, then I wouldn't be allowed to go in. But if it's not in session, then I would be. That's the law.
Well, you're going to have a problem and find out real soon if you don't want to change your ways.
I'm going to have a problem? What kind of problem?
Well,
No, I don't
standing
know.
there filming, I mean,
Yeah, practicing the First Amendment. That's real dangerous,
you
huh?
have to plant it outside. We don't make these rules. The courts do. The judges do.
The Indiana State Legislature does. The judges don't just make rules for any county building that they decide to.
Okay, well.
Right, I get you, man. No, that's fine. Unless court's in session, if court's in session, then I'll follow the law. But unless I can get a confirmation.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah, that's all I do is follow the law, man. You guys just follow orders. I follow the law. There's a big difference. All right, buddy. You're dismissed. So how would one record an interaction with a public employee with these kind of rules? Because the Supreme Court ruled that we have the right to record every public employee while they are in the course of their public duties. Do you get what I'm saying?
I understand exactly.
Right.
And
So, like, do we just enforce?
I take care of the entrance, and I can't physically go up. And
Are you with the sheriff? Sorry. Are you with the sheriff's department? You guys are. You're with the sheriff's department. Okay. So you're law enforcement, not judge's orders enforcement. Is that right?
I can't leave the entrance and find out whether court is in session, so you'll just hold on for a minute.
Right, I get you. Awesome. That'd be great, man. I'd really appreciate that.
He said he comes in, arrest him. He said he comes in, arrest.
Sorry, could you say that a little louder for me? Could you say it louder?
So he's gonna send someone over, they can deal with it, and it's the judge's order, so.
Huh. So if I come in here, what's going to happen? You guys going to throw me in a cage?
Not us.
Man, I'll tell you, if my coworker told me to hush, I would beat his ass. So basically, if I come in, you guys are going to arrest me, right? Is that right? Honestly, I just want to know. We turn into like the British Royal Marine Guard here. We don't answer questions.
I'm not turning into anything. As far as I'm concerned, I'm done.
You're done?
Yeah.
Okay. I get you, man. I get you.
Have a good day.
Okay.
All right, well, I heard the dude threaten violence, so I think I'm just going to...
I didn't hear anybody threaten violence.
Oh, I did. I heard if he does something that's totally lawful, attack him and throw him in handcuffs.
Oh, man, you heard a whole lot then, because I never heard that.
You didn't hear arrest him?
I never heard what you just said.
Well, it's just my interpretation, because I don't consent to arrest, so that would be battery, because battery is unconsensual, offensive physical contact, right? You don't care about the law, though. That's fine, man. I got you. So we got Mr. Roboto. All right, so domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. I think we're just gonna start the remediation process right now.
How we doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. What are you guys up to? You're the same guy, right?
I am.
You were just in here. You're a new guy. Who are you, man?
Huh?
Who are you?
I'm the chief deputy.
You're the chief deputy, so you're like second in command over there.
Yeah.
Okay, so
What's going on?
well, man, look, I'd like to actually have a conversation with you about this, right? Because like,
Step outside.
why can't we just do it right here in this public building?
We can do it outside on the sidewalk. Because you can't have a cell phone in here.
Okay, so if I stay in here with the cell phone, what's going to happen? What's going to happen if I stay in here with the cell phone? I just want to know.
Is this
You're
your
not
first-
going-
Is this your first day with a cell phone or something? What's the big deal with the cell phone? Why can't you just comply? He's trying
Right,
to
comply
talk to
with
you.
tyranny. I get you, man.
He's trying to talk to you in a civil way.
Let's just...
Why do you have to make a big deal out of it?
Well, because the whole thing is, man, is I love freedom. I love the Constitution of the United States of America.
We do
Well,
too.
apparently not, because you don't know what the First Amendment to the
There's
Constitution
more life
says.
than your cell phone, man.
I'm
Where'd you get?
not
You're not here to
stopping you from recording. out there.
You're just restricting where I can do it.
I'm just restricting
In public
to
areas.
this building.
I get you.
And that is not my rule. That is the rule of the judges.
Right, but you don't work for the judge, man.
Yes, we do.
No, you work for the sheriff. They're two different elected officials. There's the judiciary and there's the
You're telling us
executive.
again, though, see?
Yeah, because you guys are the executive branch. You guys get to choose what's constitutional and not enforce what you think is unconstitutional.
Are you just having a bad day or something with your comprehending and listening to understand?
No, he just wants confrontation. That's all
I
he
know,
wants.
I know.
Well, you guys are real smart. You're giving it to me.
I'm just,
trying to get you-
I'm
Look, I just like my rights,
I'm
man.
just telling you, you can film anything you want outside.
Yeah.
You can film people coming in. You can do anything you want.
Right, so basically our constitutional rights stop here at the courthouse door. Is that right? Am I getting that right?
Let me ask you something.
Okay.
It's legal to carry a gun, correct?
Yes.
Is there places that is restricted from carrying a gun?
If a private property owner doesn't want you to carry a gun in their house, I guess not. But
Can
on
you
public
carry
property,
it? Can you carry it down at the state building?
you
Can
should
you
be
carry-
able to. It's our constitutional right.
That's not what I asked you. Can you legally?
Legally, I don't know. I mean, really, I don't know what the rules are with the state building. But on public property, it doesn't say your right to bear arms shall not be infringed unless the government thinks they should. You get how asinine that is? And do you know what the Second Amendment was put there for, dude?
Yeah, I know exactly.
It's to overthrow a tyrannical government. And could you imagine if the redcoats went around to people's houses and said, hey, man, look, you got a gun. We're going to have to take that. Like, look, you're carrying a gun out in public. We're going to have to take that, man. That is the most asinine thing ever. If you enforce that law, you're an unconstitutional tyrant, dude. There's no doubt about that. And if you enforce that you can't record in public areas, then you're violating the First Amendment
I'm saying
and the Fourth Amendment.
that nobody can have a cell phone in the building.
Right, and there's no law that says that. There is one rule that says something about a courthouse and restricting your right to have an audio or video recording device in a courthouse. And that is in the courtroom or in the areas immediately adjacent to the courtroom while court is in session. It's Rule 2.17. That is the rule, man. I'm literally stating it to you. And that's the law, guys. I don't know if there's comprehension skills about, like, you're insulting my comprehension skills. I know the law, pal. All right? I'm just asking that you guys respect my rights. I'm not trying to, look.
To you, but he just asked
I
you
get
to do
you.
it
I
outside.
get you. And I'm just asking you guys to respect my rights. You know, I'm not trying to insult you. You guys seem like good guys because you haven't, like, tried to attack me yet. But I'm just saying.
I'm not going to attack you, okay?
Okay,
That's what you would like for me to do.
Honestly, man, you think not? I'd like to, honestly, if you'd invite me into your office with a cell phone, I'd like to sit down and have an interview with you about what you think is constitutional and what you don't think is constitutional. But I don't like guys
Well, see,
that...
here's the problem with
Okay.
that, okay? I'm going to be quite honest. I'm a tax-paying citizen, too.
Do you have a private business or something?
I am a taxpayer, just like you.
How so?
just
I pay
paid my
taxes. I pay property tax. I pay income tax. I pay the same tax as you do.
But you receive taxes.
I receive taxes for a job that I do,
And then you
but I pay
give
taxes.
some of the tax money back?
I pay taxes just like you do. Okay.
No, I produce stuff that the people are willing to pay for. I produce what's called ad space, sir. And so I produce that. People are willing to pay for that. And then
I provide a service which I'm paid to do.
I'm not willing to pay you, though. It's not consensual. You receive my tax
so you don't
money.
pay taxes?
No, I do under threat of force.
Do you give me your tax money?
Not willingly. You guys threaten me.
Now wait a second.
Okay.
Do you personally give me your tax money? Do
No,
you come
that's-
on Friday and hand me a check?
No, but I give
But
the
what I
state
am
money
saying
and I give the
is,
county money.
I have also got a constitutional right as an individual
Yes.
to say when I'm recorded and when I'm not.
No.
Correct?
No. The Constitution has no thing in it, no provision that
Now-
says you have the right to be free from being recorded.
Now wait a second. I'm not talking about as a police officer.
No, I'm saying as a
talking
citizen.
As an individual.
Right. If you guys wanted to take your phones out and start recording me and I told you, don't record me, I don't like that. You guys could be like, look, if you don't like it, then leave. Get on out of here. And that's what the Constitution says, man. Because any restrictions of recording another individual while they're in public would be a violation of the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States. Now, on private property, if I came to your house, you would be well within your rights and probably within your, just like your duties as a man who owns property to say, get off my property. I don't know you. I don't necessarily like you. So kick rocks, pal. This is my property. I'm the king of this castle. Get out of here. But this is our castle. This is all three of ours castle, this courthouse. Look, we have disagreements about taxes, but regardless, we all lay a claim to this public building, right? We all have rights while in this public building. You have a right as a police officer and as a human being. And so does he, and so do I.
So you don't think there should be any rules made?
Sorry, ladies.
You don't think any government building should have any rules whatsoever?
No, look, as long as it's a constitutional rule, I've got no problem with it. But the Constitution provides for so much freedom, it's hard to make a rule that's constitutional while you're in public. Like maybe there's a rule like, I don't know, man, like certainly the Fourth Amendment says you have the right to be secure in your persons, properties, houses, and effects. First Amendment right says you have a right to freedom of speech, so restricting any kind of speech would be ridiculous. It'd be restricting the freedom of the press, recording devices, notes, and pen and paper.
So I'm going to be all over whatever website you have, correct?
I do it on YouTube. I'll give you the name of it if you'd like.
You're going to put me on YouTube?
Yeah.
Even though I don't want to be on YouTube. But
right.
I don't have
the... You didn't even ask us, you know.
I don't have a right.
How rude.
I agree that if this was private property, I agree with him. If this was private property, it would be quite rude for me to invade your property and say, man, let me just get you on camera. But this is public property, and you guys are public employees.
Right. And I get that. But I should have the right, and you should have the right, for not being put on something we don't want to be put on.
California has rules like that.
This was misleading. California is a two-party consent state, but only for private conversations. So even if this guy was in California, he would not be able to escape my camera.
California has all kinds of rules.
I know, and I'm glad that you said that, because we see these rules are kind of... It provides freedom for some people, and it restricts the freedom of others. And it keeps so many people poor and oppressed. And it's California, right? That's what it is. But this is free Indiana.
Don't think I believe that either. I'm just pandering to this guy. I've literally been charged with possessing a police scanner, so this is not free Indiana.
And while it's a public area, I feel like anybody should have the right to do anything as long as they aren't physically hurting, stealing, or vandalizing somebody else or their property. Because let's be honest, man, I mean, if you get to restricting what I can do in public, then that kind of sets a precedent. Like, I can tell you what to do. And it's like, man, no other man should be... I can't tell you what to do. I can't tell him what to do. I don't think that you guys as men should have the right to tell me, another man, what to do.
I didn't tell you. I asked you.
I get that, and I respect that. I'm just saying that, like, we're having a little debate, like, do you think that this should happen? And you think that I shouldn't be allowed to do this. And I respect that. That's why I actually have a solution.
What I'm saying is there has to be rules. Whether you're a kid at home, at school, or any place.
Absolutely.
There has to be a certain amount of rules.
Yeah. Yep.
And is it so hard just to bend a little bit?
I mean, that's the thing, man, is like, I've got a certain political philosophy where I believe that everything should be private. We should abolish public property and public enterprise, and we should make it all private.
I mean, that's kind of like saying you can come in here and vandalize this building because it's your building.
Oh, I guess that would be a rule that we'd want to stop from happening in a courthouse in a public place, because the Constitution does not provide one shall not be restricted from vandalizing.
But
you know what I mean?
But I own a home.
Yes.
Can I vandalize my own home?
Yeah, I guess.
Is it against the law to vandalize my own home?
I don't think so. Is it?
You're 100% correct.
Yeah.
So if this is my building,
it's all of ours building, and that's the thing with public property, is that it sets a huge gray area, man. Like, what is allowed and what isn't allowed. So that's why the Constitution is there. It provides for things that the government cannot do. The Constitution doesn't say what the citizens can't do, because that's like, there's so many things, right? But the Constitution provides for what the government is not allowed to do. At least the Bill of Rights provides that. Now, the Constitution also provides for what the government can do, at least the federal government. The state, county governments, that's up to the state and county and the people of those places. But insofar as the Bill of Rights, they apply to the federal government and to the state government. So it only provides for what you guys can't do as far as that goes. And it's very specific, man. It's like, if I wanted to come in and vandalize, you'd be well within your rights to say, look, you're doing this to your property, but you're also doing this to everybody else's property. So that can't be allowed here on this public property. I shouldn't be allowed to vandalize somebody else's property.
Do you realize why we don't allow phones in the courthouse? Do you think it's because we're tyrants, or we don't want everybody and our brother sitting in a courtroom
recording?
Right.
And that's the thing, man, is I don't know. Like, I can't say I've never been in a courtroom recording, because you could be held in contempt of court if you do that. That would be, like I said, Rule 2.17. No areas immediately adjacent to the courtroom or in the courtroom. So I don't know what goes on in a courtroom that perhaps maybe a private citizen wouldn't want to see, or a public servant like a judge wouldn't want to see, wouldn't want to be seen, because I honestly don't know.
Many issues are private in nature. They're not necessarily criminal. They can involve children. Incidents like that.
Yes.
Where the matter is a private issue.
Yeah.
And just people involved, family into the courtroom to begin with.
Yeah.
That would be a big reason that they don't.
And I understand that with juveniles, because there is that law where after you turn 18, you get your record scrubbed.
Adult cases that involve.
What about the adult cases? You're not.
Well, the thing with adult courts,
until you're convicted.
I know it. But everybody who's even accused or charged, I shouldn't say accused, anybody who's charged with a crime gets their face, at least in my town, which is Terre Haute, about 2 hours down south. They get their name and their charges posted all over the Tribune-Star. And it's like, there's no privacy. And who do you think feeds that information to the Tribune-Star? It's certainly not the people. It's the people who arrested them. It's the sheriff's department or the local police, which would be the THPD. But man, it's like there seems to be a misunderstanding of when things can be private, and it's like so.
Well, it's a misunderstanding. Is it a misunderstanding, or is it the way we interpret it? I mean, every law has an interpretation.
Yeah.
You interpret it one way, I interpret it another.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man.
And the judge is who decides.
Yeah.
The right interpretation.
Right. So back when the country was founded, we had the great mastermind known as Thomas Jefferson. That's one of my personal heroes. He was the first Republican in this great nation. He founded the Republican Party, and he had a debate with what was known as a Federalist called Alexander Hamilton. And Alexander Hamilton kept on saying this, like, look, man, you got all these implied powers of the Constitution. You've got to read between the lines. And Thomas Jefferson, the only real Republican that I could state right now, said, look, man, I've read between the lines, and all I saw was blank space. It says what it says, and it means what it says. And so that's really what he interpreted this country as being. Now, Hamilton had much more of an influence than Jefferson. If you hear anybody talk about Jefferson, they say, well, look at this guy. He was a slave owner. He was a this, he was a that. It's because they hate the ideology of freedom. Now, Hamilton, you never hear anybody put Hamilton in a bad light. You get to a public school, they teach Hamilton this, Hamilton that, Jefferson bad. But the reality is, man, is that our country was founded as the freest nation on earth when it was created. And nowadays, the reason I go and do this isn't to come around and insult individuals or entice individuals to hurt me. Trust me, I've been in jail recently for doing something like this, unconstitutionally, illegally at that. Like, there wasn't even a law that provided for it, and I hated every second of it, man. The judge offered me an opportunity to come apologize to him and get out, and I stayed in jail for 5 days that I didn't have to, just because I said I'm not going to stand down to this tyranny. But the thing is I go around to try to. I don't mind conversations, because it gives me an opportunity to talk to somebody on a man-to-man basis. I do this so that people can see that humans are understanding and they're not just set in their ways and they're not just, oh, I do this. So that's what we do. But really, my whole idea is I'm a classic liberal, which would be an old Republican. But We want freedom in this country. We want freedom from power, and we don't want to be able to tell everyone else what to do, which is why in my idea of all private property, there would be problems, but there's problems nowadays. The only issue is that while you're on your private property, you're the king of your castle, and if somebody's doing something you don't like them doing on it, you can tell them to kick rocks or else. And then you go hands-on and it's legal because it's your property. You know what I mean? So that's the only reason that I come and do this, man, is to kind of spread the word of what it used to be
the
like.
thing about it is we can't agree to disagree. You don't agree with the rule.
I'm not going to go in there because they said if I go in there, I'm going to be taken, put in handcuffs, and thrown in a cage. So I'm not going to get in there. I'm going to disseminate.
I'm just asking you to agree to disagree with me.
I am, don't worry. I mean, I don't think it's right for me to get arrested to go in there, but that is the way it's going to be, right? So if I'm not going to do it, I'm glad that we could have this conversation. What I do is basically I put this out for the people to see, and if they agree with you, then maybe you guys get a call and they say, hey, you know, like, we appreciate what you guys are doing. Thank you for your service, whatnot. If the public doesn't agree, maybe they give you a call and say, hey, you know, I think this shouldn't be this way. And then you guys can decide, you know, if you do care about what the public thinks, you guys can decide, well, okay, this is what the public wants from their public employees. But, you know, that's the whole goal here. So I'm agreeing with you. I ain't going back there. I don't want to go into a cage, man. But, I mean, I don't know if you can agree that this is all of our house, right? And we got to follow the Constitution on it. Because this is what I always point out to anybody in law enforcement, at least in the sheriff's department, is that you guys are employed by the sheriff. You follow the sheriff's orders. The sheriff is a totally different entity than that judge. That judge was an elected official. The sheriff is an elected official. The judge is the judiciary. The sheriff is the executive branch.
I understand that, but these are all the sheriff's employees.
Exactly.
The sheriff put that sign up there.
Right, and that's why I'm saying, like, if the sheriff,
I'm not the sheriff.
Yeah, no, I get that. You're his deputy chief, and I don't even expect you to give your opinion. I'd like to talk to the sheriff to get his opinion on things because he is the guy who would
that's not going to happen today
no.
because he's at the doctor's appointment monthly.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine, man. But another thing that I'm starting to do is I am going around and interviewing sheriffs. A lot of them are outgoing. Like, I don't know, has this sheriff gotten reelected just recently, or?
No, his term limit's up.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, like, I'd love to get him in an interview and see if, you know, we could find some middle ground, agree to disagree on some other things, and disseminate that information to the public.
I can't speak for him.
Right, yeah.
You can call his office and see if he wants to set up an appointment.
Yeah. Because honestly, I mean, the whole deal is a lot of the outgoing sheriffs, maybe they felt like because the public has certain opinions, they couldn't do things. But now they can really stand up for what they believe in, and it really shows a person's true colors when they've got the last few months right before they leave an office. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. This is quite a long drive for me, as you can imagine, so I can't make it up here all the time.
Drive,
yeah, it's about 3 hours, So
why'd you pick Grant County, Indiana? I gotta ask.
Man, I just literally, I was looking and I thought to myself.
You throw darts in the map or what?
Well, so what happened was I was on my way to Marion. Regardless, I didn't know this was where the county buildings were located. So I hit the city hall first. I did see an unlawful sign over there, no recording in a public lobby. So I tried to talk that out, but the only person that was there was the receptionist. So I just asked her.
Honestly, if you want to go over and record in our lobby, you're more than welcome.
Right, and I appreciate that because that's
you know, there's a secure area and
you can't go into secure areas because they're locked, and you know that'd be trespassing.
Lobby,
right? So, but
give you any hard time. There's no signs.
Yeah,
nobody's going to give you a hard time.
I appreciate that, man. So, but
you can walk around the buildings. You can film all you want.
Yeah,
you know, and I'm just asking you to agree and disagree on the inside of this building.
Yeah, I mean, after I talk to the sheriff, I'm probably gonna come and see if the situation has stayed the same or if it has changed. But that's not a today thing. You can't make an executive decision on that yourself. So we'll wait till we can talk to the sheriff. In the meantime, the public's gonna get this information, and it is gonna be. But as far as picking Grant County, oh man, I'm telling you, dude, this camera's so HD, it all looks great.
Does it add 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 20 pounds?
It shrinks up, man.
Shrinks it
up, so you're good. But But man, yeah, the reason I chose Grant County is literally because I looked at the map. See, I'm moving north. I've kind of hit down south, and I hit Newton County over east, and I hit Warren County. That's gonna be a fun interview. I've got the sheriff down there to agree to do an interview with me, and then I thought, let's just move west instead of going all the way up to like Gary, because really that place scares me. So we just decided to move west. We're hitting Grant County, and yeah, that's how we decided it, man. I am a part of a group, but today I was the only person that was able to make it out. So yeah, and this isn't the biggest county, I take it, but this town is about the size of Terre Haute, where I come from.
No.
50,000?
No, there's not 50,000.
That's what it said on my iPhone map, so it must be wrong, huh?
65,000 maybe in the whole county.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Marion's more like upper 30s, I think. Upper 30s.
The maps must be wrong then. But
I don't know. Marion's probably about 25,000.
It used to be
27,000.
Did it?
I mean, we've lost
It
population.
used to be
I see.
in the 30s.
You know, we've
Back when
lost
it
a
was
lot
really-
of industry. You know, we was big on glass.
everywhere in the U.S.,
We was
man.
big in glass back when
Yeah.
glass. And,
I mean, it's
factories are about all gone.
still big.
The only
It's
thing we
just,
got left
Things
is,
are coming out.
yeah.
motors out there.
It's the glass is still getting bought. It's just getting bought from other places. That's another thing. Like, I'm big into economics, man. Is it almost 4 o'clock?
You guys keep making this thing go on, so if you move out of the way there.
Oh, okay. Where would out of the way be? You know. But man, that's one of the big things that I'm into is economics and all of these. I'm for like as much deregulation as we can get. Like that's kind of when Trump did the deregulation, that was a big victory for us. I just thought we needed to go a lot farther because it's true. I didn't know about Marion, but I knew about Gary, and that was an industrial like powerhouse back in I think it was like the 60s and the 70s, and it's a hellhole now. And it's because of the industry. I mean, people get good jobs, they don't have to resort to black market bullcrap. But
The new Hide Behind the Badge shirt is available now on Spring. Be sure to check it out and get yours. Link is in the description below. Also, consider joining our channel as a member to get access to content early and in some cases completely exclusive content. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.